Panic rarely waits for proof. It begins with a shadow moving where nothing should be, a sound approaching through an empty hallway, or a figure stepping into view that simply should not exist. One witness runs, then another. A frightened whisper becomes a warning. The warning becomes a stampede. And suddenly, an entire school, factory, or community is caught in the grip of the impossible. Tonight, terror spreads from ancient darkness to modern science, across lonely highways, beneath black water, and through buildings filled with people desperate to escape something they cannot explain. There are monsters hiding just beyond the light, machines beginning to move in unnatural ways, and one ominous date creeping closer on the calendar. Some of tonight's stories may make you laugh, others may leave you checking the shadows, but all of them prove that when the unexplained makes its presence known, fear can move faster than facts, and panic can become its own paranormal force. Brace yourself, my darklings. The Paranormal Panic edition of the Paranormal 60 News is next. Good evening, my darklings, and thank you for tuning in. It is another Wednesday night, and believe it or not, we've actually got part of the team together. We have great news. Chachi is doing well. Lots of great things going on in his world, and he's hoping to return to the program very soon. We have not heard from the Colonel. He's gone underground like Reacher. We hope to hear from him soon. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, and the spooks inspectors of the Palmer House Hotel, Restaurant, and Pub that I own, have a drink. May I introduce to you
the Paranormal News with the Paranormal 60 News own Paranormal Detective, Greg Lawson!
I know that's now a new segment I'll call, Was That Necessary? But it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the paranormal detective himself, Greg Rock and Roll Lawson. Wow, that was quite the theme song, Greg.
You know,
here I thought we were going to get a blind dog special of the paranormal crimes investigated with Greg Lawson, the paranormal detective. I'm like, oh, we've got a theme. And I'm like, no, this is just his introduction music. Like we're a WWE fight and you're coming out right now. And I've got, what have I got? I got Mana, do, 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 do. Well, I walk down the ramp, Mana, do, 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 do. Mana. That's what my theme is. So thanks for stepping it up, Greg.
You know, I sometimes I just don't realize what exactly the goal is. You know?
No kidding. That makes all of us. We do start tonight's show on a bit of a dour note. Yeah, news has rolled in. We've lost two legends.
It's crazy.
In just 2 days. Dolly Parton passed away yesterday. I guess Tim Curry also passed away yesterday, but the news was broken today, which is probably a pretty good idea. It's kind of like when Michael Jackson died. Farrah Fawcett died earlier that day. You didn't even know Farrah Fawcett died because of the popularity and the huge, enormous public outcry from the death of Michael Jackson.
I thought Farrah Fawcett was still alive.
No.
Is it Mandela effect? I think I got like a Mandami effect or something.
I think it's a Mandingo effect.
Mandingo effect?
Yeah, Mandingo. But geez, dude, honestly, remember when we had that conversation, who would you pick as the perfect ambassador for humanity to greet the aliens. And no president, no musician, nobody. Dolly Parton would be the perfect ambassador for any of that. And sadly, we have lost a great talent, musician, songwriter, singer, and just a spectral light in a dark, dark world. And then, of course, Tim Curry. I don't know if you followed Tim Curry. High school, man, I was every weekend going to Des Plaines Theater to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show with my girlfriend and our friends. And I've probably seen that movie 400 times.
Really?
Absolutely love it. Love Tim Curry. Loved him in Legend and It and Clue and a myriad of other programs he was a part of. And it is, boy, that one hit me kind of like, it had the same impact on me, Tim Curry's death, as David Bowie did.
Really?
Where I just I felt like somebody punched me right in the dick. And I just,
whoa.
Right.
That makes sense now. It all makes sense.
Yeah. And I just, wow, that was crazy. Such a bummer. And it was such a shame that he suffered a massive stroke a few years back, took him out of the loop of being just that creative force he was. But watching interviews with him and hearing him, it never seemed to dim his light. And even Dolly, she knew what she was up against. She was fighting cancer and a return of the cancer. And thankfully, I guess it swiftly took her this time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's just pretty amazing. Just, all the stuff that you said, but also to be able to either pull it together as a businesswoman or have the smarts to surround herself with people that aren't going to steal her money.
Yeah.
And build an empire. You can just imagine what Dollywood's going to do in money in the next 2 years. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I'm going.
And I will still say, one of my all-time favorite dumb comedies is Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone and Dolly Parton. It takes a drubbing online. I love it for just how ludicrous and ridiculous it is. It's kind of a role reversal of My Fair Lady. The Dolly is dealing with the protagonist, her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, whatever he is, and she makes a bet to turn anybody into a country. And Nick or whatever the name was, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, and she gets tasked with needing to turn him into a country singer. And that scene alone, for me, is absolutely one of my all-time favorite clips. As a matter of fact, while we're talking here, I'm going to try to pull that video up, and I'm sure that's going to demonetize this episode. I don't care. I
could do a review of Rhinestone if you like.
Oh boy, if only I had time for that. I really wish we could make that work, Greg. But
sure, we can do that sometime if you like.
I kind of feel like we wouldn't be doing it justice if we did it now, out of the like this. I mean, you're so talented that we should really do this when we plan it better. And then I will have had a chance to rewatch it recently, and therefore I can kind of.
Yeah, I remember movies all the way through every time I watch them, and it's pretty much of a.
So let's do this. I'm going to share a song from Rhinestone. This is the country tune she chooses for him. The outfit Sylvester Stallone wears, the face he makes during this, and the fact that we are a paranormal show, and the name of the song that he chose is Drinkenstein. And I absolutely love this. So let me see if I can pull this up and do it. And just bear with me, folks. This is one of those moments where it's just such cheesy fun and bliss. You have to enjoy it. You just got to allow yourself to have that moment and be one with the show. So let me bring it onto the stage here, and I'm going to put it in the forefront and pull us out. And
put it up front.
This is Drinkenstein by Sylvester Stallone from
Drinkenstein, yeah. I'm Drinkenstein. I'm Drinkenstein. I'm drinking.
Oh my God, that is pure gold. And they call him drinking Stein. So
I like it the way he hit it right on, on the button every time.
it's a
Very
romantic
sharp.
comedy, Rhinestone. It's a
Mm.
perfect blend for the 80s. You got to watch it. It does my heart good. And just anything Dolly's in was amazing. So, I could have I could either watch Rhinestone and laugh and love the memory, or I could watch Steel Magnolias and just sit in a corner eating chocolate and crying myself.
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not gonna, why do that?
Why?
So, yeah. That's it. All right, let's get started. We got a lot of news to cover.
We do have a lot of news to cover.
Tonight. But again, you will be missed, Dolly Parton. And thank you for everything you brought to this beautiful world. And Tim Curry, thank you for being brave and stepping out and being one of those type of character actors who just didn't care, and you owned every role you ever did. Amazing legacy on both of these people. And boy. All right, Greg. Tonight's episode is Paranormal Panic Edition. You'll notice a common thread between all these stories. But this first one kind of upsets me. I mean, I'm heading in to my 59th birthday in November.
Wow.
In case anybody's, keeping score or wants to know where to send the gifts and gift cards and $100 bills. It's right here to Dave Schrader at the Palmer House, 500 Sinclair Lewis Avenue, Sauk Center, Minnesota. Not S-O-C-K, like sock, but Sauk, S-A-U-K, C-E-N-T-R-E, because we're fancy here in Minnesota. Minnesota 56378. Just send all of the gifts, all of the cards, everything right here. But save your money until after November 13th. Yeah. So here's the story we're going to begin with, because let's start on a happy note.
Let's do that.
Doomsday has a date. Humanity may already have an expiration date, and according to one physicist's calculations, it falls on the unluckiest day imaginable. Friday, November 13th, 2026. That's the date Austrian-born physicist Heinz von Forster identified more than 6 decades ago in a scientific paper ominously titled Doomsday. Friday, 13 November AD 2026. You try to add kind of a sinister.
That was pretty good. I like that.
This was not the vision of a prophet, the interpretation of an ancient calendar, or a warning delivered by some wandering mystic. Von Forster and his colleagues reached their date using mathematics, historical population records, and nearly 2,000 years of human growth. Their calculations revealed that the world's population was not merely expanding, it was accelerating at a pace faster than traditional exponential growth. Each generation added more people in less time, creating a mathematical curve that climbed toward infinity. And I feel like I should stop the story at this point to personally apologize for procreating so much and adding to the infinite number of humans on this planet. My 11 children and 10 grandchildren. Boy, we got to move past November 13th, 2026, because I'm pretty sure by the same time, 10 years from now, half the population of Earth will be Schraders.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my hope. Yeah.
And
right.
The hotel's booking up by then, isn't it?
I hope so. God, it needs to. All right, here we go now. When they extended that curve into the future, it struck a breaking point on one very specific day, Friday the 13th of November 2026. Von Forster described a world in which humanity would eventually squeeze itself to death, overwhelmed by its own numbers as food, land, and natural resources failed to keep pace. According to the equation, the global population would theoretically become infinite at the moment, a demographic singularity where the numbers no longer made physical sense. The planet obviously cannot hold an infinite number of people, which means something would have to interrupt the equation before it reached that point. Now, it could be said, Greg, that something is lettuce at fast food restaurants.
That could be it. That very well could be it.
Yeah, lettuce, tomatoes, and carrots. I have not yet heard of a recall where Twinkies or Oreos are killing people.
Nope,
so
never happened.
Supplanting your Taco Bell, just tell them that you'd like a beefy taco with the Oreo crumbles And yeah, just because it's safer than lettuce, Greg. I'm trying to keep people healthier.
All right, I got it.
Adding crumpled Oreos to their tacos, the only way to go, at least
got
from a scientific approach. Yeah. All right. The unsettling part is that von Forster's formula proved remarkably accurate for decades. Using data available in 1958, it reportedly projected a world population of nearly 6 billion by 1997, and the actual number landed frighteningly close, Greg. Population growth has slowed since the study was published, preventing humanity from reaching the impossible total predicted by the original curve. But today, more than 8 billion people occupy the planet, and new research continues to warn that environmental disasters, war, disease, or collapsing resources could trigger sudden and devastating population decline. And there is one final bizarre detail hidden inside von Forster's prediction. November 13th was also his birthday. Had he lived, Heinz von Forster would turn 115 years old on the very day his equation declared humanity would reach its breaking point. So go ahead, make your Thanksgiving plans, but keep the receipts. Because this November, Friday the 13th will arrive with more than superstition attached to it. It will arrive carrying a date of doom.
I thought you were going to do the whole date that will live in infamy, but I guess we're not living. Yeah, I guess not.
So there's something to think about. My birthday's November 22nd. So once November 14th comes and shows up, folks, just start sending those presents right to the Palmer House in Sauk Center, Minnesota.
Is that
if we don't all snuff out, and I don't procreate another 2.8 billion people between now and then, and you never know, I do give out a lot of hugs, and I'm extremely potent. It could happen. But after the 13th, we're supposed to be snuffed out. If not, gifts are welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. Good way to celebrate my 59th birthday, don't you think? Not being dead.
That would be good.
Yeah, I like to think so. All right, Greg, where are you taking us in the world of the paranormal? Oh, wait, let me guess. Is it a paranormal crimes investigated?
Wow, that was a pretty good one.
Greg Lawson.
That's a pretty good one right there. That was a WWE event there.
A little bit of a punch, yeah. So what's your story?
Let's go down under and over. How's that? Down under
and over?
Over. Okay. Yeah. Crimes investigated. Yeah, let's do death is no excuse. How's that? Does that make you wonder?
Yep.
Yeah. A woman in New Zealand briefly died, then returned to life and discovered that escaping death was easier than escaping a dang parking ticket. Typical. An unnamed 54-year-old woman was visiting the New World supermarket in Orwa, North Auckland. It's just north of Auckland.
Yeah.
And was suddenly, she suddenly suffered a cardiac arrest in the parking lot, man. She collapsed right there beside her vehicle. No detectable pulse. A stranger ran over to her aid and began performing chest compressions. Paramedics arrived, continued fighting for her life, eventually restarted her heart before transporting her in an ambulance.
In an ambulance, you say?
Yes. That's how they. What? That's how they say it in Norway.
But we're talking about not New Orleans, Greg. Again, looking at the atlas of the planet, New Zealand nowhere near New Orleans. It's down under and over, if you recall, down by Australia.
I got that. Yeah. So
step to the left.
But they call it an ambulance down there.
Do they? Do they call it an ambulance?
Yeah, somebody does.
I'm probably
sure. The North Shore Hospital for Emergency Treatment. And according to the woman's father, paramedics later confirmed that for a short time, his daughter actually was technically dead. She had crossed the ultimate threshold only to be pulled back by extraordinary actions by a complete stranger. Her car, however, remained behind. The supermarket allows customers 90 minutes of free parking, but understandably, Nobody involved in restoring the woman to life thought about moving her vehicle, and it remained in the lot for 341 minutes. Typical, right? Several days after her resurrection, the woman received a breach notice and a call from the company. Without the slightest hint of irony, Smart Compliance Management notified her of her parking ticket. The fine was 80 New Zealand dollars.
Oh.
Those were, we call those Zealands.
She suffered another massive heart attack because it was 80 New Zealand dollars. Huh?
Yeah, the Zealands. Yeah,
The Zealands. I don't.
Her
They call
family.
them the Kiwis or something in New
Yeah,
Zealand.
you know, they could. I think there's a Kiwi on the bill itself.
Mm-hmm.
Her family appealed and explained that she had been not casually drowsing in the frozen food aisle for 6 hours. She had suffered a cardiac arrest, lost her pulse, and been resurrected and rushed to the hospital. The company carefully considered these extraordinary circumstances and responded with all the warmth of an automated message from the underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah. They informed the family and the customers that they were entitled to 90 minutes of parking and that she remained for 341 minutes. Therefore, the ticket had been correctly issued. However, in recognition of her temporary death, the company generously reduced the fine from $80 to $30 for an administration fee.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Apparently, dying qualified her for a discount, but not parking validation. Yeah. Wanting to avoid any further stress, a woman just paid the fee. You know,
Yeah, of course.
it's not worth messing with it. And when the supermarket learned what had happened, its staff reimbursed her directly. Following public backlash,
God, words is hard, buddy.
dude, this chai tea is crazy. Following public backlash, the Smart Compliance Management eventually issued a full apology, admitted that the medical emergency had not been properly considered, and promised additional training to their employees. The woman's name has remained private, and no account has been released describing whether she saw a brilliant light or departed relatives at the gates of heaven during this, time that her heart stopped. Yeah. But if she did encounter St. Peter, let us hope he was validating parking that day, because in New Zealand,
Hey, sorry about that. You're not supposed to be dead. Let me stamp that for you and send you back down.
I had no idea he was from that area.
Yeah.
But because in New Zealand, it appears that you can leave this world without warning, but your car remains behind for more than 30 or 90 minutes. The meter is going to keep running. So there you go.
How weird that her meter stopped, but the car meter continued.
It's kind of strange, right? It's a conundrum. What they call a conundrum, Dave.
Is that what a conundrum is?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. We're going to take just a very quick break. We'll come back, and when we do, you can almost hear the Terminator theme playing in the background. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. We'll do that.
Is that the Terminator?
Right after this.
Did you know that radio just got a little extraterrestrial? That's right, Dave Schrader is back on radio with the Paranormal 360 every Sunday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Central on WCCO AM 830 and Odyssey station. Just download the Odyssey app and look for the WCCO logo, follow the station and listen live. That's the Paranormal 360 on WCCO AM 830 and Odyssey station.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Dave Schrader. That is Greg Lawson. We've got some exciting things coming up, folks. By the way, I'm going to be out at Hillview Manor very soon in Pennsylvania, and we would love for you to come out and join us. It is me. It is Shane Pittman. Why are we getting an echo? And it is Cindy Kaza from Paranormal Mysteries and the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, 28 Days Haunted, whatever show you're excited about. I'm going to be there with Cindy and Shane. We'll be answering questions. We'll be investigating Hillview Manor. There's information, tickets available if you go to darknessevents.com. That's darknessevents.com. And immediately after that, For those of you on the west coast of the country, Greg and I are going to be at Phenomicon in Vernal, Utah. And we're going to be there. I'll be there again with Shane and Cindy. We're going to be doing some talks and hanging out, and there's a dinner and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys and hope that you're going to be there. You can find tickets and information for all the events I'll be a part of by going to darknessevents.com. That's darknessevents.com. We've got another story. And this one, I think I mentioned it to you. You can, if you just listen in the background. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Can you hear that? Doom, doom, doom.
Is that what that's the Terminator thing?
Have you? Oh, you've seen the movie so many times, and you have such excellent recall. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Well, we have got ourselves in quite a predicament. Tonight is the Paranormal Panic Edition. And if Skynet and AI are not freaking you out enough, Greg, check this puppy out. A living machine. Scientists have created a material that can be commanded by light, and once illuminated, it appears to come to life. Researchers at the University of Science and Technology of China have developed a strange new hydrogel capable of expanding, twisting, curling, lifting objects, and powering small machines without motors, wires, or traditional mechanical parts. In darkness, it remains nearly motionless, but shine a light on it, and within seconds, the material begins to transform. During laboratory tests, the hydrogel expanded by more than 80,000% in merely 40 seconds. Aim the light at one side, it curls to the left-handed spiral. Change the direction, and it can reverse itself into a right-handed spiral. Illuminate different sections, and it forms multiple shapes at once. Twists, coils, and reaching tendrils that move like the vines of a climbing plant. Turn off the light, and the material relaxes. Then shine a new pattern onto it, and it obeys an entirely different set of instructions. That's what makes this creation so unusual. Most shape-changing materials are manufactured with one predetermined behavior built into them. The hydrogel has no permanent set of commands. Its instructions arrive afterward, carried entirely by light. The secret is a light-sensitive molecule called spiropyrin.
Yeah.
Spiropyrin, embedded inside the material's polymer network. When illuminated, that means lit up, the molecule undergoes a chemical transformation. The network begins pulling in enormous amounts of water, causing the selected portions to swell at different speeds. Those uneven expansions allow the material to bend, coil, and rotate, almost as though invisible fingers were sculpting it in real time. And it does more than perform laboratory party tricks. A strip weighing only 6 milligrams curled into a spring and lifted more than 8 times its own weight. Another piece wrapped itself around an object like a living tendril. Researchers used the hydrogel to activate an underwater electrical switch and even power a miniature rotary system, turning a propeller clockwise or counterclockwise depending entirely upon the direction of the light.
What?
Same piece of material was reprogrammed through more than 20 consecutive transformations. Possible future includes soft robots capable of changing bodies for different assignments, delicate medical grippers, microscopic pumps, self-adjusting machines, and devices that function in places where wires and conventional motors cannot go. We are accustomed to using light to see the world around us. Now, scientists are using it to deliver instructions, to matter, to make something grow, twist, reach, and work. And while this hydrogel is not technically alive, watching a tiny shapeless mass wake beneath a beam of light and begin performing commands certainly makes this distinction feel just a little less comforting. Did nobody see Terminator 2? I know Greg didn't. He's probably pulled up IMDb to try to pretend he's seen it. But the T-1000 was a liquid form of machinery, and that was horrible. So we can figure out how to make a little bloop, like flubber, start a propeller for us, light things up, reach out and grab things. But the best we can do for erectile dysfunction, Greg, is duct tape and tongue depressors.
I tell you what, this thing is going to put us out of business. I know that.
It is? Or we just going to shine light on a little ball of glop and it's going to be like,
did you?
The paranormal news with the Paranormal 60 News own Paranormal
blobby green ball of light. Will that be it? They'll just take over the show? Is that how it's going to go?
Maybe that's, yeah.
Yeah.
We call him Blobby.
Blobby. Yeah. It's exciting. Science is exciting and terrifying. Now are we just going to inject AI into the self-adhering and that it can like pull out and jump into a different uniform?
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you.
Oh God.
You've seen the movie, or they did the Star Trek Voyager, and they had that doctor that was
a hologram.
Yeah, hologram. And then they finally figured out how to put a little machine inside of him, and he carried it around with him, and he could project himself anywhere. He's, couldn't go out of the med bay for a while, and then they figured that out so he could walk around. So yeah, I think it's a
way to
I
go
can't
to
wait.
A relevant source like Voyager from 30 years ago.
Wow.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the paranormal detective to share his next terrifying story with us as we continue our Paranormal Panic edition.
I tell you what, man, this one is the Beast in the Buns.
No, bins.
What?
You wrote it. You don't remember it. The Beast in the Bins.
Oh, the Beast at the Bins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bins is spelled B-I-N-S, like trash cans. Bins, the British bins.
Yeah.
Right, so something large, something black, and something predatory. Maybe stalking the neighborhoods of Northampton, England. One woman found it waiting just outside her home. Yeah. On the evening of August 18th, 51-year-old Claire Hodges stepped outside to move her garbage bins to the curb for collection the following morning. Claire and her neighbors have been leaving pieces of raw lamb outside for a friendly fox that regularly visited the area. When she heard movement behind her, she assumed their familiar nighttime guest had arrived. With her phone at the ready in her hand, Claire turned around to take a picture, but the animal standing only feet away from her was not a fox. It was a massive, dark, four-legged creature with a long body, powerful shoulders, and unmistakable silhouette of a large cat, Dave, in Britain, on the Isle of Britain. That's right. Claire managed to snap one photograph before instinct took over. She later said, "I ran quicker than I have in my entire life." And I'm not sure how quick that was, being that she is English and living in England and eating like toad in the hole and the other stuff that they eat.
Toad and some spotted dick.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they can run real fast, Dave. I don't know. But once she was safely inside, she examined the image and arrived at the same conclusion many others who have researched the image after seeing it. The creature looked like a black panther. Yep. There is only one rather significant problem with that identification. Black panthers are not native to Britain.
What?
Claire believes, she believes the animal may have been prowling her neighborhood for several days. In the period before her encounter, she noticed something unusual. The local domestic cats had apparently stopped venturing outside. Perhaps they knew something the owners did not, Dave, And Claire, when she cited it, it wasn't an isolated event. That's right. On July 16th, another large black cat was reported seen in Gretton, north of Corby, just north of Corby. Gretton, yeah. Ugh. Then on August 6th, a similar animal appeared in a field near Deanthorpe.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's only 5 miles away. So Claire's encounter occurred roughly 25 miles outside the second sighting, Panthers searching for prey can reportedly travel approximately 20 miles a day, placing all three encounters within a possible range of one roaming animal.
Hmm.
The region also sits beside Rutland, you know, the home of that. Yeah, the home of the famous beast of Rutland. These sightings frightened residents all throughout the 1990s. But here's where it kind of gets weird. Big cat researcher Gary Ridley, who has investigated alleged British panthers for more than 15 years, Dave. That's a decade and a half. See how I did that? That's mathematics.
So that's
Yeah. Says the photographic expert are now examining Claire's image.
Mm-hmm.
He acknowledges that some of the sightings prove to be dogs or other oversized domestic cats, but not all of them. Ridley insists that genuine big cats are living somewhere in the Britain countryside, and that evidence shows they are powerful enough to bring down a deer.
What?
Now, yeah, deer in Texas. I mean, that you got to have some because deer in Texas are like 45 pounds. So you got to be pretty big to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. Claire is now frightened to leave her home and worries about her children and other children living in the neighborhood. Maybe a lot of the children in the neighborhood she's worried about.
Yeah, she should be.
As for the fox, she originally hoped to photograph. It may be wise for that little fellow to skip dinner for a while, Dave.
Why
Because something much larger appears to have discovered her feeding station. And the next time the bins go out in Northampton, the trash may not be the only thing waiting at the curb.
What?
Yeah.
Like what else could be there?
The bins of a fox, some lamb meat, some toad in the hole, or spotted dick.
I got you. Interesting. We have listeners in the live chat room who seem a bit skeptical, and they'd like to know if there's an image of the cat, and we do have one.
Look at that.
It's
How
massive.
can you deny that?
It is. Oh my God. It's.
How do you
Could you
deny
imagine
that?
you're just out there feeding a little fox, and you see this creature come stalking out of the darkness? He's got very kissy lips, though, doesn't he?
Look at him. He's like a
Yeah.
Pretty sure
Now
that's
we
the
just
way
let the whole world know you and I talk pretty fluent cat.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if you do the meh, meh, like that, they'll come to you.
Do they?
Yeah.
Mine just all come to.
Mm.
I wonder if anybody has a cat right now. Just turn up your volume.
You know,
Are the cats coming to Dave's call? Let me know. Dave at paranormal60.com. Let me know. Send me photographs on Facebook of the cats coming to my call. All right. We got another story. Guess who else is back in the news this week?
hold on. Jesse Limekiller of Minnesota. No, it's not Minnesota.
Missouri. Belvoir Winery.
Montana.
No, Missouri again. Missouri is what you were looking for. No, the answer is not that. It is Bigfoot, or as we call him in this story, the giant on Highway 149.
I see why this is titled the way it's titled. It's terrifying.
It is terrifying. These are panicky stories, man. A lifelong Bigfoot skeptic traveled into the Colorado mountains looking for ordinary wildlife and watched a 9-foot creature walk out of the forest. It was July 28th, 2026. Lori and Bill Bowling were driving north along Highway 149, approximately 10 miles southeast of Lake City in Hinsdale County. The couple, both in their early 60s, had lived in the area for 12 years. Their family had explored its roads, trails, forests, and creeks since the 1950s. They knew the local wildlife, and Lori was watching the slopes for deer, elk, or moose as their truck and fifth-wheel trailer descended Slumgullion Pass. That sounds like something straight out of like a Tolkien book, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, Slumgullion Pass.
Old Bilbo Baggins and Zach Baggins on their quest to find the haunted ring have to pass through, the hell's the name of that? Slumgullion Pass.
That's right.
It was 3:41 in the afternoon, Greg. The sky was overcast. Rain had recently passed through the area.
Wow, this looks
forest The forest opened into a wide clearing where dead spruce trees had been removed. The largest remaining sapling stood only 4 or 5 feet tall, providing Lori with a scale for what appeared next.
Wow.
A massive, dark figure stepped out of the trees. Lori watched as it turned, moved uphill, and traveled along the forest's edge with a strange, gliding gait. Its body was covered in blackish brown hair. Its arms hung unusually long, and its head appeared to rise directly from its shoulders without a visible neck. Compared with the surrounding trees, Lori estimated it stood somewhere between 7 and 9 feet tall. This was not a distant shadow or shape glimpsed for a half a second, Greg. She watched the creature take 4 or 5 enormous steps before the curve of the highway carried it from view. Lori, a woman rarely lost for words, tried to tell her husband what she was seeing, but nothing came out. Finally, she managed to say, I just saw Bigfoot stop the truck. Bill turned around at the next available road and drove back. The creature had disappeared, but the couple returned home, detached their trailer, and came back to search the clearing. There were no hiking trails nearby, no apparent reason for anyone to be walking barefoot through the area. They found signs of deer and elk, but only one human-like impression pressed deep into the damp ground. One bare footprint. I mean bare like B-A-R-E, not like B-E-A-R, like, hey, let's go get us a picnic basket. Not that kind of bear. Yeah. A bare naked footprint. Fresh plant stems were still embedded inside it, suggesting it had just been made recently. The couple returned again the following day and discovered a second possible print before an approaching thunderstorm forced them from the forest. Bill never saw the creature himself, but after nearly 39 years of marriage, he knew his wife's reactions. He had never seen her speechless, frightened, and exhilarated all at once. Before that afternoon, neither of them had given serious thought to Bigfoot's existence. Now, Lori says the encounter is almost all she can think about. She entered the mountains hoping to glimpse an animal she recognized. Instead, something towering stepped from the trees in broad daylight, Greg, crossed several yards of open ground, and transformed skeptics in 4 silent, gliding steps. Lori insists the creature was not a shadow. It was not a glimpse. It was standing there, plain as day, Greg. Plain as day.
And barefooted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that was an amazing photograph that was there. That imagery was
This might not be the actual photograph, Greg.
Well, it's just your description, and then to look at this image is just amazing. He needs to control his speed and stay on one side of the road.
He also has to stop using his cell phone because he's getting that rounded shoulder and neck. He probably spends too much time playing like Pokemon Go in the woods. Wow. I mean, what else? What are they going to play?
I don't know what they're doing.
Pokemon Go. That'd be the only thing I could possibly think of. Yeah.
Well,
we're going to take another quick break. We'll come back. The Paranormal Detective has more stories to share right here on your home for all things strange and supernatural. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dave Schrader. That guy is the Paranormal Detective, and this is the Paranormal 60 News. Welcome back to the program. I'm Dave Schrader. That's Greg Lawson, and this is the Paranormal Panic Edition of the Paranormal 60 News. Each story bringing us just another slice of panic and anxiety-inducing literature. Well, I can't say literature.
Literature
seems a bit haughty when I say it that way. You've got a story to tell us, and I guess giant black cats in Britain and humongous Bigfoot in Colorado. There was one more monster that wanted to be heard from or seen from.
Yeah. I remember that time, Dave, that you took me to Scotland and we went to Loch Ness.
Yeah, I cradled you lovingly in my arms as we sipped a latte as we strolled across the moors.
You dipped me in those cool water and then swaddled me in that towel. That was amazing.
Let's head down to Scotland, where we're gonna find more information about the big old Nessie bastard.
See, you should have done this one, because I can't do that. But there is shadows beneath Loch Ness, apparently. For centuries, eyewitnesses have watched Loch Ness for the moment its legendary inhabitant might rise from the darkness. But a newly recorded sighting suggests that most revealing evidence may not be found above the water at all. On the morning of July 27th, John and Jamie Wallace, isn't that neat? They have the last name Wallace, like William Wallace,
Like
the Wallace,
yeah.
memorial and all that stuff. John and Jamie Wallace traveled from Renfrewshire, to visit Scotland's most mysterious loch. At precisely 10:46, they photographed a large dark shadow beneath the surface and an immense shape that appeared to be moving through the water without producing a visible head, neck, or familiar series of humps. The Wallaces, see, that's Wallace, but you put an ES on it to say that it's both of them. The Wallaces initially considered whether the anomaly could have been a shadow cast by something overhead, but they reported that the sky above that section of the loch was empty. There was no aircraft, birds, or other objects in a position to create a dark formation captured in their photograph. Whatever produced it appeared to be inside the water, not above it. The image was submitted to the official Loch Ness Monster Sighting Registry, where it became the 11th accepted Nessie report of 2026. Additional encounters have since pushed the year's total to 13, more than twice the numbers in-person sightings recorded in 2025. The sudden increase is made more compelling by the variety of activity reported around the loch. 4 days before the Wallaces took their photograph, a 9-year-old girl aboard a cruise boat, you know those cruise boats that go back and forth up there? Yeah. She was on one of those.
Wow.
And she captured what she believed was the head of the creature in the water. 2 days before that, a visitor standing in Urquhart Castle. Urquhart Castle. Described a flat, dark green head followed by 2 humps and a disturbance trailing hundreds of yards behind them.
Were they 2 humps or 2 bumps or 2 lovely lady bumps?
Well, I don't know, but if you have enough, to drink, it all makes sense. And as though a powerful tail were driving something forward beneath the surface, it causes disturbance in the water. Another family reported seeing a black head followed by a long tail near Clansman Hotel when no boats were operating nearby. Other witnesses have described strange fins, dark bodies, unexplained wakes, and large shapes appearing beside passing vehicles and vessels before sinking back into the loch. Not sure why there would be vehicles out there or not, but I digress. Yet the Wallace's photograph may be the most unnerving of them all because nothing surfaced. There was no dramatic splash or serpentine neck rising against the Scottish hills, only a sizable shadow traveling silently through the dark water below. Loch Ness stretches approximately 23 miles and descends more than 700 feet, Dave. I didn't know that. You know, when we were there, the water looked pretty good, but it said that peat, P-E-A-T, not the dude, but the soil, peat carried down from the surrounding highlands stains the water a deep brown. Yeah. Swallowing light and reducing visibility until anything below becomes a little more than a vague outline. A very large animal could pass beneath a witness, a boat, or even an entire search party without revealing more than the darkness displaced by its body. Monster hunters have spent generations scanning the surface, waiting for Nessie to rise far enough to prove that she exists. But after centuries of pursuit, perhaps the secret remaining will be
centuries of pursuit. What did you say? What was
After centuries of pursuit,
uh-huh.
perhaps the secret of remaining hidden is not retreating into the deepest trench of the loch. Perhaps it is simply staying a few feet below the people searching above. That's what I say.
Yeah, he didn't breach the water. That means coming up over the top. But they do have some fascinating audio from underneath the boat. Have you heard that yet, Greg?
I have not heard it.
Oh, really? You didn't lie and say, yeah, you've heard
Roll
it.
that audio.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's go.
What do you mean I didn't lie? I'm not lying about stuff.
Shh, we're going to play the audio now. Shh.
Okay, here we go.
Wow, I didn't even know that he knew that song.
Hmm.
Or is it a she? Is Nessie a she or a he? Or it doesn't matter. I don't care. I love it no matter what it is, Greg. Yeah, that's amazing that we were able to hear that audio, though. You could hear the warbly sound as it's trying to sing underwater.
That's what that was.
Very heartening. You're an underwater guy. Do you not know what underwater sounds like when you talk?
Yeah, you know, I try not to think. Try not to think about
your
it, man.
headphones while you're down there diving, and all you're hearing is hello, hello, hello.
Try not to think about it, Dave.
Try not to. Hey, dude, we got some more panic happening. More panic. This is panic that I will be first to admit to you. The scariest things to me are kids and like paranormally tainted children. Ooh, those get me. This was kind of weird. There was a bit of a possession panic taking place.
Those kids.
Nearly 600 students fled a residential school in India after 4 girls began laughing and crying uncontrollably. And whispers of metallic anklets were heard moving through the dormitory when no one was there.
Wow.
The strange events began on July 22nd at a government-run tribal school in Doma village, located in the remote Melghat region of northern Maharashtra. More than 800 boys and girls lived in the school's dormitories, but within a matter of days, most of those beds would be empty. According to reports, Greg, 4 female students suddenly began behaving in a disturbing and inexplicable manner. They alternated between uncontrollable laughter and intense crying, appearing unable to stop either reaction. As other students witnessed the episodes, word spread that the girls, they weren't just ill. No, it was much worse, Greg. They were possessed.
What?
Yeah. Fear moved quickly through the dormitories, but the behavior of the 4 girls was only the beginning. Students claimed they could hear the distinctive clanking of anklets in the building, as though an unseen woman were walking through the corridors. The sound carried enormous cultural weight. In an Indian ghost lore, disembodied anklets are often associated with female spirits whose approach can be heard before they're ever seen. Soon, the school and its surrounding village were alive with theories about what had been awakened. One rumor centered upon a maha tree that once stood on the grounds of the school. Local belief held that spirits inhabited the tree, but school officials had it cut down.
What?
Some students and villagers feared those displaced entities had become angry and were now moving through the dormitory. Another explanation pointed toward a temple dedicated to a local deity behind the school. A drainage channel from the campus had already disturbed or encroached upon the sacred area, leading some residents to believe the deity had been insulted. Still another rumor spoke of the restless ghost of a young Adivasi man haunting the property. The terror did not remain confined to just the students, though. A psychological report prepared by authorities noted that women from the nearby village later began displaying similar unusual behavior. By then, fear had taken hold of the entire community, and parents began removing their children from the school. Over the course of several days, Greg, nearly 600 students abandoned the dormitories, returning home. An institution built to house 810 children had been emptied by stories of possession, angry spirits, and footsteps marked by the sound of invisible anklets. A team of health professionals was sent to investigate, and officials attributed the episodes to a hysteria-like condition possibly connected to mental stress. The girls' dormitory had reportedly been overcrowded for an extended period, and administrators announced plans to move the female students into a newly constructed building. But identifying stress does not explain why these particular stories emerged, why the same symptoms reportedly appeared beyond the school, or what the students believed they heard moving through the corridors. Whatever began with those 4 girls became powerful enough to send hundreds of children, Greg. That's the way they say it in India. Children fleeing from a place they had once considered safe. The school now faces the difficult task of convincing them to return. New beds and less crowded rooms may help, but the old dormitory and the stories that are attached to it, sadly, they remain. Because once hundreds of students believe something is walking the halls after dark, silence no longer sounds empty. It sounds like someone has removed her anklets.
It sounds like Salem, India.
That's what I was going to say. Wasn't it 4 girls acting lunatic and laughing and crying and screaming that started the entire Salem witch panic?
Lean it forward just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You're
Those horns on your head. Oh, man.
Like the horns up there? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the big clock above me. I said clock. It's a big clock. Greg.
Nice clock, Dave.
People last week were referring to it as my Loki horns.
Man, your clock is huge, man.
Thank you. Yeah. It's got 2 hands on it, too. That's how big it is.
Wow.
Wow, we are coming to the end of it. After your story, I've got another story that I want to talk to you about. I've been excited about this because I want to pick your brain, Greg. And for the listeners in the chat room, after Greg, did I already? Hold on a second. I think I threw out my next story by accident.
Oh, that'd be great. We can kind of wrap this thing.
I know. Oh, that was my story. That wasn't you. Oh. I was so bored by myself, I forgot who was reading it.
Huh.
Oh, God. I try to make it dramatic, so it's not just a news story. I want it to.
Where are you right now?
I'm at the Palmer House Hotel, Restaurant, and Pub, and I own it, Greg. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm kind of fancy. But Greg has a story to follow in the footsteps of panic and possession in public schools. It's a lot of P's.
I think it's footsteps. It's footsteps.
Yeah, or as my grandson Declan says, poof-rints.
No.
Poof-rints.
I don't think so.
Go out there and find some dinosaur poof-rints pop up.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
He is exactly what he's saying. How dare you? All right.
Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to Bangladesh. Let's go back to Salem, India.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go to a garment factory.
Oh, I love
Ghost that. On the factory floor in Bangladesh shut down after more than 100 workers became ill, and some complained of being ill. And then and the collapsing employees had encountered a ghost inside the building. The incident unfolded at Universal Menswear Limited, located just outside of this place in India, possessing the processing zone in another place called in India, Shidder Sagari.
Pardon me? This is a family show. Be careful.
That's what the thing says, if I sound it out. On Saturday afternoon, a female employee working on the second floor and third floor, there are several of them, and they were in the company's new building. They began to fall one after another. There's no single accident, visible leak, or obvious mechanical failure. Workers simply began collapsing across the factory until number requiring medical attention reported to exceed 100. Management sent the affected employees to the nearby Bepza hospital for treatment and shut down operations for the remainder of the day. When the factory reopened on Sunday, because we got to make these clothes, Approximately 90% of its workforce returned, but the previous day's events had already left employees uneasy. Shortly after the shift began, another female worker reportedly claimed that she had seen a ghost.
You say that with such disdain,
Inside the
like you're
work.
dismissing
No,
a
it's just-
poor female worker.
Just here we go. You
Why
know, I
do
mean,
they
it
hate
was,
women so much, Greg? It's
she didn't report any ankle jingling or anything like that. Just a straight up ghost.
okay.
Witnesses said that the woman began behaving strangely before becoming ill and collapsing. As word of what she had seen spread through the factory, other employees began fainting and panic erupted across the production floor. Workers ran for the exits while emergency personnel transported the latest group of patients to the hospital. One male employee estimated that more than 50 workers fainted while preparing to begin their shifts.
Wow.
Yeah, factory management offered a considerably lower count, reporting between 15 and 20 illnesses on Sunday, while officials from the Export Processing Authority placed a number at 5 to 7. So maybe it's not as big as you want, but whatever the final total, even though people were affected by the management of this whole incident, they closed the entire factory for the rest of the day. Officials in Bangladesh Export Processing Zone Authority inspected the building looking for physical condition that could have caused the workers' collapse. They were reportedly found no ventilation problems, no evidence of suffocation, no environmental issues or anything else. That immediately explained why the people had become ill in different areas of the factory.
Have you ever seen the footage from those sweatshops?
Oh, it's horrible, man.
People are boiling. There's no good circulation.
Oh, it's horrible.
You're breathing in the stink of like the sewage systems that are backed up, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm still have my head up my ass from the 1980s when they would show all those videos and footage of India and just how overrun it was. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting when in the Industrial Revolution, when they started really treating people really badly in these big factories, and these people started they were making shoes, and they ended up throwing them in the machinery. You know what those shoes were called, Dave? Sabos. Sabotage. Yeah, that's where that word comes from.
Get out of here.
Yeah, the workers would throw
Are you
these
teaching
shoes.
us stuff?
Oh, they'd throw the shoes inside the machines and break the machines, and that's where they came from. Maybe in India they should start throwing some chanclas in those machines. And
Some chunklos?
yeah, those are like little sandals down in Mexico.
Oh,
So they're
But
really
it's-
cheap and they're easy to.
but it's
to
India. Why
replace.
would they have that, Greg? I don't understand.
It's an international world, Dave. It's a new world order these days, and just a lot of trade going on. I don't know if you've are aware of that, but there appears to be no connection between the systems in the factories and the illness that has been established. Factory's general manager rejected the supernatural explanation, although he acknowledged that the actual cause of the collapse remains unidentified. So there you go.
Very strange.
Yeah.
So there does seem to be kind of a paranormal panic taking over the world right now. Strange things happening, people reacting, passing out, screaming, freaking out. That's not the first story that I shared about schools being shut down due to possessions. It has been happening for decades.
Yep.
Maybe even further than decades, but I don't know what the next word is. Decades?
Centuries, maybe?
Century sounds wrong. But yeah, I got nothing. All right, so here's the next story I have. All right, are you ready for this?
I can't wait. This is the one I've been waiting for.
This is going to lead me into a different conversation. We're going to go down a rabbit hole together, but let's start here. The lady in the cave. For more than 2,000 years, a mysterious goddess has been waiting in the darkness beneath Spain. Archaeologists exploring Cova de les Dones, the Cave of the Women, near Valencia, have discovered more than 120 Latin inscriptions carved across the walls and ceilings of a hidden underground chamber. That is the largest collection of Latin cave inscriptions ever documented anywhere in the former Roman Empire. Most were created during the 1st and 2nd centuries AD, and they are not scattered randomly throughout the cave. They are concentrated deep inside one secluded chamber, far from the daylight and separated from the outside world. Researchers now believe this chamber was an organized Roman sanctuary where worshippers gathered to perform rituals, leave offerings, and communicate with something they knew simply as Domina, the lady. 5 inscriptions invoke this mysterious female deity, while 3 include another word, Malachi, which may have been one of her sacred titles. No known Roman goddess has ever been definitively connected to that name, and researchers still do not know exactly who or what the lady represented. But the cave itself might be offering clues. Within the sanctuary are small natural pools filled by water seeping through the stone. Ancient visitors appear to have placed offerings inside them, possibly asking the lady for protection, healing, prophecy, or favors no one living can now identify. Archaeologists also uncovered chalice-shaped vessels, rings, a bracelet, pottery, plant remains, and spindle whorls traditionally connected to women and textile work. Female names appear among the inscriptions, suggesting women were not merely visitors to this cult. They may have conducted its ceremonies. Picture them making that journey nearly 2 millennia ago, Greg, leaving the heat and sunlight of Roman Spain, carrying lamps and offerings into the earth, moving deeper until the outside world disappeared. Water echoes through the chamber. Flames throw shadows across the stone. And somewhere in that darkness, they speak the name of the lady. But her followers were not the first people drawn to this place. The same cave contains more than 100 Paleolithic paintings and engravings, some dating back over 24,000 years, long before Rome existed. Ancient people were already entering these chambers and leaving their marks behind. Different civilizations, different languages, different gods. Yet generation after generation continued returning to the same underground darkness. More of the Roman inscriptions remain undeciphered, and researchers believe they could finally reveal the identity of the goddess worshipped there. Until then, she remains exactly as her followers named her, an ancient presence without a face, without a history, without a name. She is simply the lady in the cave. Huh?
The lady in the cave.
Huh? So that yields to a couple of different points. One, the conclusion that God is female, which is a big, that the religion was actually based on a feminine deity, God being a woman, not a man. Or a unisex being that is both male and female. So that's kind of interesting. However, this got the old juices going in my brain. And at my age, it's impressive that there's still some juices and it hasn't all dried up. But this is what I was thinking, Greg. How many places have we gone where we have heard of the tales of the ghosts of the lady in white, the lady in gray, the lady in black, or the lady in red? And it got me thinking that what is this a representative of? It seems that this entity is seen around the world.
Yes.
In different places. There's always a lady in white, lady in gray, lady in black, lady in red, right? They're always seen in these places, especially these places that were tumultuous and usually filled with lots of bloodshed and violence, right? And we often want to attribute it to, some poor woman that was locked inside these castles or keeps, inside the churches, mistreated by her husband. But what if, Greg, what if it's been right in front of us all along? What if these women, those 4 women in specific, the women in white, gray, black, and red, represent the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Right? What if they are in fact death?
Look at that. Different
Versions of the Grim Reaper. I mean, why do we always have to believe the Grim Reaper is a male entity? Right?
Yeah.
I've had some women scare me to death.
It's really tall. You know?
Yeah. So thinking about that, in all honesty, and this isn't meant just as a gag, I promise you. What do you make of that, Greg? What do you make of the fact that this specific entity, she's usually not completely seen in the face. It's usually by profile as she walks or scrolls, kind of floats through a room. But that we keep seeing these different iterations. Could it be seriously just the lack of light? If you're in a dark area looking at somebody, their shirt is not really red or blue. It's just kind of a shade of black or darkness, right? Depending on the lightness of the fabric. So could it just be that it's just that is all that being has left of itself to show? Or do you think that this might be more of a representative of death itself?
So it's interesting that you asked that, because I've never even thought of it that way. I've always connected it to a locale and an incident that happened at that location. When we were in Cork and we went to Charles Fort, there's a lady in white there. And I don't know if you know this, Dave, but Blind Dog and I wrote a song about that. And we played a song about that. Yeah.
We'll have to get it on the show. We'd love to hear it for next week.
Yeah, we can do that. And I've always thought about it as isolated incidents, but now that you bring that up, that is a very intriguing hypothesis, Dave. You posit that that this is one being that shows itself in different locations, identifying or in these different colors, I guess, maybe, instead of translucent or
right.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
You'd have to think about, I wonder if the colors have something, because they always vary between white, a very faint misty white, to a kind of a gray, murky, to the black, to the deep reds. I wonder if it is death closer, depending on what color the imagery is.
Yeah, no.
No, that's a very confusing answer. I don't know.
Well, no, so I accidentally looked over, and Chief Von Beef, he put in there, that explains why God remembers everything you did wrong.
So if he's a woman, yep, it would.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I was trying to listen to your very serious posit.
Yeah.
Your very serious hypothyroidism, or your whatever that.
My hypothesis.
Hypothesis, yeah.
Or hypothesis. This is. But I know it could also be said that these women in black are representing mourning, maybe the loss of their family, their children, their husbands, life in general.
What explains a woman in
shade of grays, the shade of white to red? All of those colors are representative of death, right? White, the great nothing, the darkness, the grays of the room around you, and that kind of haze of nothingness. I don't know. And then red, of course, when people see red, it's always, it evokes fear, it evokes blood, it evokes death. I don't know.
At Lep Castle, the woman in red there, woman in white at Charles Fort. Chillingham has a woman, doesn't it? I know the Isle of Skye has a green woman.
Right. But that didn't fit into my narrative. I just
stick
with white, gray, because maybe the woman in green is real. She's just a ghost. But it's these iterations. These four are all specifically tied to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love your thoughts on it, folks. You can email me. I was watching the chat room looking for response, and they were giving chocolate chip cookie recipes and talking about ugly feet. So I don't know. But if you, the listener, have a story to share, Dave at paranormal60.com. That's Dave at paranormal60.com. And I'd love your thought on that. It would just be, to me, I think it's worth investigating more, looking at the concept of the death and how recent the death is, or the deaths that took place there. I don't know. How do you can hypothesize on these things, but it's almost impossible to pin it down to anything. Right, because it's not tangible research. We're doing our very
Well,
best.
everywhere we've been, we come up with stuff, but people say, well, I'm going to use the scientific method, which is not really anyway, it's based on repeatability, and everywhere we go, it's something else going on. And so to say that you're going to use a scientific method on it, it's like, are you really? I don't know.
Fascinating. Greg, well, thank you again, buddy. I can't thank you enough for joining me and being here. And folks, trust me, the Colonel and Chachi are in constant contact with us. They would both like to be back here. The Colonel, being in the military, has been out there doing his work, and he's being kept busy. Chachi has had a lot on his plate. We're keeping him in our thoughts and prayers that he'll be able to join us again here soon. But Greg, as our steadfast reporter, thank you for always finding time for us and coming to be here.
I love being here, man. Thank you for having me on, Dave. Seriously.
It's always a pleasure, my brother. Thank you very much. And again, always thank you, my darklings. Panic is one of humanity's oldest survival skills. It warns us when something's wrong, moves us before reason catches up, and occasionally sends us running from a danger we cannot name or prove was ever there. Tonight's stories carried us through that charged moment when the familiar suddenly fractures and the impossible steps into view. Sometimes fear spreads because people misunderstand what they've witnessed. But every so often, the panic begins because somebody new saw exactly what they claimed they saw. Again, a big thanks to our buddy Greg, the paranormal detective Lawson, for helping me patrol the stranger corners of this unpredictable world. And if you enjoyed tonight's Paranormal Panic edition, follow the show, share it with your fellow darklings, and please take a moment to rate and review the audio version of the Paranormal 60 wherever you listen. For Greg Lawson, I'm Dave Schrader, and may the darkness of this world be just a little brighter with the information that we share here each week on our Paranormal 60.
It's Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. It's just for paranormal freaks like me, with poltergeist and ghosts and blues and UAPs. You miss a word, you do a shot. It starts to snowball and we laugh a lot. It's just like drinking with your TV friends. I'll be passed out before tonight's show ends. Dreaming the aliens are taking me away. I'll go wake up for sometime late on Saturday. It's Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Chachi and the Colonel and the Paranormal Detective. All read Schrader's copy and they all won't be corrected. He's got protected phrases and some crazy magic tricks. Even Scully cannot save him from the voice of Stevie Nicks. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Now one day Dave might even put me on his show. There's a ghost in my mom's basement, man, I live down there, I know. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Schrader